singer, songwriter, vocal arranger, vocal contractor, one who has sung on everything from B.B. Winans to Michael Bolton to Mariah Carey to Bobby Jones to Israel Houghton. I mean, these are all names that you know, right? Done work with them, and literally, if you are a singer, you literally can't do anything as a singer without coming past her name, literally. And when we were growing and learning and becoming singers ourselves as young artists, we were all showing up at the Village Underground on Sunday nights to hear her and Ron Grant, God rest his soul, and others lead the open mics on that night. So I really am so excited that she agreed to come. We want to give a warm LaGuardia welcome to none other than the great, the illustrious Melonie Daniels.
You see me through for every blessing.
Almost. That's it though.
Hallelujah. For this I give you praise.
Let's go back to the first for every mouse, the first key.
First,
I'm gonna do that.
Every blessing.
for every blessing. Sing it, tenor, go.
For every blessing.
Pitch on this.
Drop your jaw.
Yeah, need a pitch on the
Drop
end.
your jaw. Get that yawn feel in the back of your throat. For every blessing.
Sing and go.
For every blessing.
Okay, now bring it a little bit forward. Not so far back in the soft palate. For every blessing.
And sing.
For every blessing.
See, that's more, how did that feel? Okay, you gotta remember where it sits. It's not right all the way back in that soft palate, but it's like right in the middle where the palate starts to get soft. That's where you should feel it. For every blessing.
Let me ask you this. How do you respond, or how does it feel being so recognizable, particularly in this social media world we're in? Like, I know quite a few of your videos have gone viral, or get, people know you who don't even know you.
Right.
Around the world. Right. You have, followers on your Instagram, and nationally you're known. So how does that feel to be so recognizable? Because it also, I think, puts us in a very vulnerable position.
Yeah, I do. I do believe that. I don't take that so seriously. Not that I don't appreciate it, not that I don't regard it, but there are more important things. I mean, I appreciate the acknowledgement, and I'm very grateful that people even want to know what my name is or know who I am, and they are interested and or ministered to by what I've done,
right.
as a musician, as a vocal musician. So, but I'm extremely grateful when they come to me. They're like, "Oh my goodness, you're Melonie Daniels." I'm like, "Oh my goodness, what's your name?" I like to diffuse that fan thing.
Sure.
Immediately. I don't like the fandom because fandom is too close to me to worship.
Right.
And according to the word of God, God will have no other gods before him. He will not share his glory. So I'm very intent when people come to me and they're, giving adulation and accolades. I'm like, thank you. I appreciate that. God gets all that glory though. That resonance has to remain there in that same space.
That's
right behind the hard palate, right at the top of the soft palate. Okay? Feel it with your tongue. Don't choke yourself. But that's where it should resonate. Those are some of the classical tricks that I took from classical music and applied it to my gospel singing, and to my pop singing, and to my jazz singing, which is why I'm able to maneuver through all of those. because you take the what you learn in the classical
Exactly.
technique and apply it so that you can maintain inside of, because gospel sounds and has been unfortunately categorized as harsh singing, but there's a way to deliver it effectively without damaging. You understand? So that you maintain, and you can use those techniques to maintain your voice. Yeah. Because there's a lot of gospel singers now. I mean, we see it. Not just gospel singers, but just singers that sing hard. They sing 2 octaves below where they used to sing back in the day. Yeah. That's because of the tech. They didn't learn the proper technique and or didn't exercise that technique. Because I know a lot of them started out with good technique,
Right.
but as you go along and you keep doing it, you lose the discipline of it. So you have to always go back and redo it. Like every once in a while, I got to catch myself go, okay, bring it back. And it resets me.
Yeah.
So that I'm able to maintain and not leave a performance or a rehearsal hoarse, because I'm not using the proper technique to maintain it the right way in the phrasing. And then also in rehearsals, I mean, I know there are directors, I'm one of them too. I want to hear the way it's going to sound in the performance, but that's not always conducive when you have a bunch of songs to do, or you have different concerts to do. So you gotta stick and move, as it were.
Right.
Like, it's like, okay, here I'm going to put it out. When they ask for what it really sounds like, I'm going to do it one good time. Especially when I get in the studio, they be like, when you have to stack vocals and stuff, they be like, all right, do it. We're going to do 4 more stacks. Like, listen, you got 3 good ones left in me. You better get it while you can get it. And don't be one of those producers that be like, I don't believe in one take. You better go back and listen.
That's real. That's real.
One thing I know how to do this. I may be insecure about a lot of stuff, but I know how to do this. And when you learn that confidence, it's not arrogance, it's confidence. Yep. There's a difference. Arrogance means I know I'm better than you. Nah, I know there's somebody that's better than me. There always is. Because the ones that's coming up behind you is smarter and quicker and faster.
Because they learned from you.
Exactly. And I expect it. A lot of people don't teach that, but I expect y'all to be better than me. I for real do. Because if you're not, then I haven't done my job. And there are a lot of people that are stingy with it. And that's not the way. That's not legacy. Legacy is passing on what you know so that they can take it and run with it. Y'all got y'all the next in the relay. Y'all got the baton. Make it work. Get them little legs moving. So, let's go back to the top of it. I have to relearn this song. I haven't sung this song in several years.
Go back to the top.
Pray for me. Okay.
Back to That's Why.
What else do we need to do? Is there anything else you need to fix in that? I just need to learn my part.
I got you. No. I think as long as they have, I think they're good on that. I was thinking maybe we go to something different too.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's fine.
Do they do up above, or do you want to do something different with a solo? We need something upbeat with a solo.
Something you just said off the cuff that I think it's worth repeating, just because I think it's an educational moment. You called yourself a vocal musician.
Yes.
And I think that's important because singers are musicians.
Right?
Your instrument is just inside of you.
Yep.
You walk around with it.
Yeah.
And because of that, it is subject to environment, it's subject to your health, it's subject to mood, all kinds of things. But I think, we have to, there's 2 things I want to say about that. And I'm so glad you said it. It's because singers should be respected as musicians. But then I also want to encourage singers to prepare themselves the way instrumentalists do. And I like the fact that you refer to yourself. That's not something I asked you, but you refer to yourself as a vocal musician.
Right.
And I think that's what keeps you in demand as a singer, because
you understand the component about it. Okay, my friend Rick Brennan that does my hair, we had this conversation one time, and we were trying to figure out, we both have this ability that God has blessed us with to see things kinesthetically, not just one-sided or one facet of it, but we see the entire picture. And I think that's what singers, people that call themselves singers, need to understand. You're not just responsible for your one little part or your one piece.
Sure.
You need to understand what's going on around you as a part of the collective of the conversation that you're having in the performance moment.
Right.
Because if you're only concerned about what you're doing, you're not going to relate to what the keyboard player is giving. You're not going to relate to what the guitar part is giving, what the bass player is giving, what the drummer is giving, rhythmically or
you may not even listen to it.
And you can't relatively understand pitch, intonation, feel.
Sure.
Because of that.
Right.
Because you just blocked yourself off just to know your little part.
You're kind of old school in your approach, right?
Very.
You're old school because a lot of singers coming up now, they kind of decorate the tree before they have one, right? And
they buy all the decorations and don't even have the tree.
It's all decorated and
there's no tree.
There's no tree there,
Yeah.
right? And so you're talking about starting from the fundamentals,
Yeah, absolutely.
and listening,
Yes.
and building relationships so that you know that as a singer, what the bass player is pertinent to what you're doing as the drummer and the keyboard player. And you can get your cues.
Absolutely. And your keys.
Ideas, yes.
Because especially when things change keys
Right.
and you don't have the luxury of somebody banging out the note for you.
Ding, 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 ding. This is your part right here, right here. No. But what about when you do that and they sing something else? Ding, 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 ding. I didn't.
Frightening.
I used to tell them, if I'm banging this out, hint.
And then I also say that for singers, 65% of what we do singing wise is listening.
Absolutely.
It just is.
Absolutely.
And then and people learn differently.
Right.
So, and I had to realize that because I know, I believe I know they're not diagnosed because I never talked to a psychiatrist about it. I know I have ADD or ADHD, but at times those can be superpowers. Because when somebody that has those, what they call a disorder, I don't believe them to be a disorder, but when they have those conditions, they get laser focused on whatever that thing is. Like there are times where I'll hear something in another room. Clearly.
Sure.
But somebody sitting right here next to me, if I'm not focused on it, I'll be like, what? Say that again?
Right. Right.
So it's about where you put your attention. And if you focus on that thing and you repeat it, because repetition is the other thing that a lot of people have gotten out of that practice now.
Sure.
You can't learn anything without repetition.
Right.
You can't. It's just not. I've developed a schedule, I guess you could call it, a curriculum for myself. If I listen to a song 3 to 4 times, I know it. I got it locked. And I've listened to it 4 different ways to know what, like, the basic the basic structure of the song is.
Got you.
Through the instrumentation as well as the vocal. And then there are people that all they do is focus on that. Like, I love how these people can sing a cappella or rehearse a cappella, and they'll rehearse the proper notes.
Right.
But then it doesn't give the pianist or the guitar player room to experiment with a different chord change or progression.
Sure.
Because they're so locked into that thing. So my ear gravitates to what they're playing, and I'll sing inside of the scale of whatever they happen to be playing. And a lot of musicians are like, how do you do that? Because not every singer does that. I said, because I need to pay attention to what you guys are doing so I can be in concert. Get it? Concert.
Right.
Get it? In concert with you. Because it's a conversation.
And pivot when you have to.
Exactly.
So that was just vocal gold right there. That was vocal gold to pass on. But so in that vein, since you kind of went there,
Yeah.
give me 3 concise pieces of advice you would give to a 15-year-old who wants to pursue a career in music.
Even at your young age, get your parents to get you a passport. Number 1. Number 2, there's no such thing as being over-prepared. Know the stuff inside out, backward and forward, up and down, forward and back. So that way, whenever whomever you happen to be working for wants to make a change, it's not a surprise, and you can cut and paste, as it were, to put whatever you need to put together for the performance to be executed the way that the artist or whoever you're working for wants it to be executed.
Right.
Number 3, listen. Be intentional in how you listen. Don't just listen to learn.
Okay.
Listen to understand.
Okay.
The same way when we speak to one another. Some people listen to respond.
Sure.
And some people hear to understand.
Sure.
There's a difference.
Right.
So be intentional about how you hear and how you listen. Those are
I think, I think that's important, because a lot of the times we give young people instructions, but really no path to how to do it.
the procedure. Yeah.
Right. And it's kind of like, or even you tell someone to study your music. And what does that mean? How do I do that? How do I approach that?
How do I go about
How do I go?
study?
You send me a track, and sometimes tracks are very hard to study because they're so busy.
Yes.
And you have this muscle that has been developed in you that is like, you're like it's Hercules in you now, so that someone can send Melonie Daniels a track and you can cut out everything else and hear the background part and hear it clearly. But for a young singer, there's a lot going on there, and they can't sift through, right?
Yeah.
Or even some older singers who haven't had to do that.
Right.
There are some singers who've always learned by someone teaching them the part. And they're excellent at that.
Yeah.
So now with this technology where you get parts emailed to you, you get tracks emailed to you, voice notes emailed to you.
Yeah.
That's a whole different world, and a lot of people don't know how to navigate in that.
Right.
So I think what you just said, I think it can be I think that's even how to listen. That's a whole class.
Oh yeah.
Hint, 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 Melonie Daniels. Hint, 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 hint. I'm just saying, because I think, that's the skill that you have, that's in your muscle memory, that's in your musical DNA. But a lot of singers, and it doesn't mean they're not gifted.
Right.
It does,
It's a skill.
It's a skill.
Skills are learned behaviors.
Right.
Gifts and callings, we all know this, those of us that are church people, gifts and callings come without repentance.
Right.
You can have a gift, but if you don't train the gift and the skill of the gift, the gift is just going to be just a gift.
Right. So
it's like the parable of the talents.
Yes.
He's like, he gave 1 to one, he gave 2 to another, and he gave 5 to the third. And the one with the 5 doubled
invested it
and doubled. The one with the 2 invested it and doubled. The one with the 1 hid it, buried it, trying to keep it from being usurped or taken.
Right.
But that's the thing, when you put your trust and your belief and your obedience in God, little becomes much.
When you place it.
I
think Danny Bell Hall said that.
I heard her.
Danny Bell, she said that once.
I heard her do that.
This may not be a complete list, but because I know some of this I'm throwing and you're going to go off the top of your head. But who are some of the people you've recorded with?
Yikes. I recorded with her for 18 years. Mariah Carey. Karen Clark Sheard. Shirley Caesar. Mark Anthony. Sang on his one and only English album. I'm trying not to mix up the live shows with the recorded stuff. Michael Bolton. Chris Jasper, that was my first one. There's a few of them. Kim Burrell, right? The live record. I'm blanking. When everybody asks me that, I'll be like,
I know. That's one of those hard questions because I just kind of threw it. But enough to say that your experience.
Edwin Hawkins.
Edwin Hawkins, yes.
Walter Hawkins.
Terrence Kennedy. Excuse me.
God bless you. You need tissue?
No.
Okay. 2014. Yeah. A lot of good people. A lot of amazing artists.
People kind of know you, I want to say in eras of your life. And I kind of want to talk about that.
Yeah.
What was it like singing background for Mariah Carey? And what did you learn from that experience?
Well, when we were doing it, we knew her first record. We came in, I say we because it was Kelly Price, Cherie Price, and myself. So when you hear me refer to we, that's what I'm talking about. We came in on her second record, which was MTV Unplugged. And we were just like singing. We were singing with Daryl Douglas and the Workshop Company. That's the group that we were singing with, along with Pastor David Gates and Love, Peace, and Joy Singers, Togetherness Mass Choir in New York, Queens, New York. Those are the groups that Kelly, Cherie, and I used to sing with. And we were singing with the group one day, and we went to sing at somebody's wedding. I think it was Cindy Mizell. She got married. She used to sing for Luther Vandross and sung with Bruce Springsteen as well. So we sang at her wedding, and her cousin, who was in the wedding, was Patrick McMillan, who was singing background for Mariah at the time.
Wow.
And him and Trey Lorenz were best friends, so they were at the wedding. And they're like, you guys are amazing. If Mariah ever needs a choir, we're gonna call you guys. We were like, sure you will. Right? And that was in the summer, in that January following, we got a call.
Wow.
Mariah needed a choir to sing with her on the Grammys when they were at Radio City Music Hall in 1992. And we were singing with this group, and that's the craziness. I was singing with this group. It was an ensemble. It was only like 10, 12 of us. So the director asked me, he's like, well, you direct your church choir, you sing with this group, ask them to come and help us because we needed 30 people.
Got you.
So from the very first gig that I did with Mariah, I was already helping put choirs together for her. So we did the song with her, If It's Over. We rehearsed it, and we were in rehearsal. We had a few minutes downtime, and we were joking around, standing at the piano with our director, Daryl Douglas, and joking around, acting silly, singing off in 3-part harmony, and they just thought that was amazing. So they were like, okay, we heard you sing off harmony. We want to hear what you really sound like. So we ended up singing a song. And after the rehearsal was done, they pulled us aside and said, well, Mariah's about to do MTV Unplugged. Would you guys be a part? And we're like, sure.
Wow.
Okay. We had no clue that it was going to do what it did. MTV Unplugged was very popular because Babyface did one, Maxwell did one, Boyz II Men did one. A bunch of people were doing them at the time. And the song I'll Be There that she sang with Trey Lorenz went to #1. And it just exploded. And we were like, wow, we weren't expecting this. Okay, well, here we are.
Something about exceedingly and
abundantly
above all you can ask.
Yep, absolutely. Are y'all moving at all?
You only have to move up so you can sing the song.
I don't even know.
Shiloh.
Where my life would be if you had to show your love for me, broke the chains of a binding me. Set me free. If it hadn't been
Myron, who's Candy?
Aren't you the right? Come on.
Who's Candy?
Shallow.
Shallow is Candy, and you're Myron? Okay, cool. Boom, boom, dum, dum, ga, dum, be, ga, dum, go, boom, ba. Why do we all scat like that? It's hilarious.